We're
Welcome
gonna.
back to the Flying Lap. We're here to
Mhm.
talk about our mid-season. You're wearing the more appropriate shirt. I'm wearing an appropriate shirt for my feelings right now, which
So
is
give me one
reliability
second.
is overrated.
We got these shirts that we might introduce to you guys.
Oh yeah, all the flags. Now you know
Instead of just the
what each
one,
flag means. Yeah,
but I think this one's going to be a hot seller. It's a really nice shirt. It's super comfy.
I can't
I'm
wait to get my
excited
hands
about
on
it.
mine. You'll have it here in a couple weeks. Yeah,
I mean, I have it for you now whenever you want to get it.
yeah. I'll wait. I can be patient for
I
once.
washed it. We're good.
Okay, I appreciate it. It's what you did with it before you washed it is what I'm worried
Yeah,
about.
who knows? But I
Yeah.
mean, it is the guy who keeps beating me.
So, anyways, on that train of thought, we're here today to talk about our season so far. We've done 3 events. We're halfway through. Um, I wanted to get together with Brandon, or Brandon and I wanted to get together and kind of explain how the season points work, how to win or podium in the season championship, the overall championship, and then just talk a bit about what we think our predictions and stuff are. Before
Right.
I show anything, though, I just wanted to get Brandon's thought on like how are you just feeling in general before we actually look at the data and play with the calculator. Like how do you feel about each respective class, like unlimited, R class, and max, tuner, and sport, as much as you can?
Yeah. So this becomes quite interesting being kind of a short season. It's only 6 races in the first place. And I'm used to other series that have multiple races. We're talking 8 to 10, and we're getting 2 drops in a 6 race season.
Mm-hmm.
So we're left with 4 that actually matter.
Correct.
So I feel like if you don't show up to every one of them, it really hurts your point standings.
Yep.
And we
So
have
can you
people.
explain what a drop is real quick?
It's a best 4 out of 6. Best four
Okay.
out of six. It
Okay.
literally means your 2 worst get taken off of your points, and everybody else, even if they got first for all of them, still lose 2 of those.
Okay. So even if you miss entirely, it doesn't count against you necessarily for that
Yeah.
case. Okay.
So what's
So
happened so far that I've noticed is we had a bunch of people show up right at the beginning of the season. La Junta was kind of packed, and now that we've done 4 races, it's been a lot of different people actually, like from the first event to the fourth event. I've seen and met a lot of different people.
yep. I think we've got just some quick numbers to throw at you. There's 13 unique individuals that have participated in Unlimited. There's 20 in Max Class. There's 23 in Tuner, and we have 10 different individuals that have competed in Sport Class over the season so far. Not that many people qualify yet, but you have to already have 4, which none of us do because there haven't been 4 events, right?
Sure. We've done 3, and how many
Mm-hmm.
have made 3 events? Not too many of those initial numbers.
Not a
But
whole lot of them, but anybody who's participated at all up to this point has an opportunity to qualify. If you show up for the first time ever at the very next event, you're only going to be able to participate in 3 events. So unfortunately, you just don't qualify for the season championship, but that does not mean that you can't win and podium at the individual events. And it doesn't mean that you can't just absolutely mess everything up for everybody else with their hopes and
does
dreams
that,
for
yeah,
the end of
that's
the
true.
season.
Does that literally disqualify you from podium at the end of the season though? Let's say you do 3 races, you win all 3. Do you Are you still not in contention for a championship?
You have to have 4. Four is the bare minimum. So you would drop the 2 that you didn't show up to, right? That you couldn't make or whatever.
Yeah.
But you have to have 4. Yep. So I'll like my perspective. Like I have my opinions on who the front runners are for each class. Uh, it's difficult to really call. I think just because some people haven't been able to make every event, so their point average per the last 3 events are lower than other people. Like Dustin Neal, for instance, hasn't made the last event just because one of his turbos is blown. So it's difficult to say like where is he going to be at, especially like now in Max Class. I'm not going to be in. We'll find out when I
We'll
can
see
come
when you
back.
come back. Yeah.
Yeah. And Rich Enriquez is one of the guys in Max Class too that's kind of teeter-tottered on Am I going to make all of the next events or not? And I think that leaves a lot of openings in max class for anybody else in the standings, like with me being gone, Dustin finally coming back. And if Rich isn't there to try to defend position, like it just makes it for easy points. You know what I mean? And that's true for every class. Like that's also happening in tuner class. We've got some folks that haven't been back, like Brett Cortusio. Where's Brett? Hashtag where's Brett?
We have a little meme going even.
Yeah. Hashtag where's Brett? So anything else you want to add? I'm going to go ahead and share out my screen here, and we can take a look at the unlimited class first and play around with the calculator and just see what we think.
Let's nerd out.
All right, let's nerd out.
Check it out.
So here is our unlimited class standings. You can see right now, as far as the minimum events, no one has met the minimum event requirement because we've only participated in 3 events. You can see, where there's zeros, it just means someone did not participate pretty much at all. I think there's no way you can't at least get 1 point at these events. And then we've got the overall point average across all of your events here, right? So this is what I would primarily look at for who are my front runners, right? So in unlimited class, we've got Daryl.
Oh.
20 point average, right? But I mean, he's only got 2 events here. So he didn't make La Junta, but he does have the highest average. But what would he have done? You know what I mean?
Well, that's an interesting way the formula is working because it's not adding that 0 in at all.
So, yeah, because that's on purpose.
Because we don't have the minimum. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's on purpose. The not showing up is not supposed to hurt your average. So the average is actually supposed to work as a tiebreaker in the event that your after drops points are identical. The tiebreaker is what is your average, and your average will be based off of every event that you did participate in, not the ones that you didn't. But yeah, so we've got Daryl, Ryan, Corey, Adam. Colt's got a higher average as well, and I definitely I don't want to exclude Logan Owens from this conversation. He I think was like tuner class in La Junta, and we're likely going to move him up to I'm guessing unlimited because he's running Hoosiers after this last event. Yeah. So I think that's going to move. So I just moved. I calculated it, and he would have basically got 14 points here. So that'll be included in what his total and averages are. So I mean, these guys are sitting the highest up right now, and I'll go ahead and just highlight each of them.
Total points. It looks like Ryan's leading us with Adam right behind, and then Daryl would be taking 3rd. Mm-hmm. I heard some talks about Daryl maybe not going to PPIR as well.
It's a possibility. Yeah. Yeah. What have you heard from that?
He just doesn't like
got something else.
Got you. No. I think it was more of just he doesn't feel the treks for him, and may just take the loss there. But he's got 2 already, so I don't think it really matters as long as he shows up to HPR and La Junta.
Well, I know more in the rumor mill. Corey Ross has indicated that he may not show up until La Junta, which I think completely takes him out of the running. So
even if really, he won there, yeah.
Even if he wins over at La Junta, but I mean, we need to still consider what he could take in La Junta because he did take, I think, 1st place. Ryan just has extra points from class record or something like that, I believe, or maybe vice versa. I'm not sure how the points worked out there, but if Corey does participate, it'll play into whatever points everybody else gets at La Junta.
Well, I thought if you didn't do 4 races, it just eliminates you in the first place, and that was my question originally.
It does, but if he does participate at La Junta, if he takes 1st place, the 2nd place person doesn't get 1st place points for the season.
That's a good point. I mean? Very good point.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you show up for the first time at PPIR, HPR, or La Junta, you might not qualify for the whole season because you only get 3 events, but you absolutely mess up everybody else, which is it's still awesome, and it just makes it more unpredictable. But so I don't know. My predictions is I think that we've got Dusix, Daryl, and Adam are front runners, and I'm really curious what Logan's going to do. Anybody else, I'm not really sure about. Like Colton, I mean, is definitely a performer. But I just don't have a relationship with him. I don't know if he's going to show up for other events to make the whole season. So it's hard for him to, it's hard for me to predict that. So, I mean, I'm going to call it, I think, with Ryan up front, Darrell at second and Adam in third is what my prediction is going to be at this point in time.
I feel like that might stay the same.
Yeah.
At the end. Okay.
So you think Adam will be second and Darrell will be in third?
That's a good question. I think Ryan's going to take it, but those two are kind of a toss up because Darrell is definitely faster, but Adam is consistent and he keeps showing up. I think Darrell will be in second. He'll probably show up for the last two, I think. As long as he shows up for the last two, I think Darrell.
And I think the point changes are going to be different with Ryan because now he has tires. He's been running on really old tires. So now that he has tires, I expect that his point average will go up. So I mean, definitely a front runner for that. But
congrats to him on his first place out at the national event.
I think what was interesting is he was the 10th fastest overall. He was off like any other class that he could have competed in. So pro comp, it was just him. There's one car, right? But if you look at his time and the cars that he was racing against, I think that's what speaks for itself. Like the unlimited class guys, he would have been in fourth place in unlimited class, but I think there was first place, there was a BMW, an E92 M3 that had like a racing motor, like $90,000 motor put inside it. And then there was, I think, a Camaro and a Corvette, like big displacement, big power. But I think that's the big takeaway. And kudos to you, Ryan. That's the impressive thing is keeping up with these cars that are definitely have you outgunned. I mean, you're making 260, 280 at best in that endurance car. It is light, but it doesn't mean that those unlimited cars aren't completely gutted out either. So I think that's the biggest highlight for sure. I mean, it's a win in Pro Comp. He reset the Pro Comp record. He beat his personal record by 2 seconds and definitely was out there going fast. So, yep. Good job.
Awesome. Thanks for representing Colorado. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, who do you want to talk about next?
Well, let's skip us for now. We're boring.
Let's skip us for now. We're the fun part, man.
Let's go to Tuner.
The life of the party. What are you talking about?
I think the life's in Tuner.
The life's in Tuner. Let me zoom out a bit.
I wish I was in Tuner. Not.
There's not. Okay. All right. Tuner class. I'm just going to skip around and we're just going to highlight our top folks here and based off of averages. Right. So here are our high averages looking at the top 6. Michael McKissick or Sean rather is one that surprises me.
I always forget.
He's done really well. You cannot discount him at all.
He's at HPR. He was showing me that he's ran over a second faster than what he did at the event.
Oh yeah.
And same with Pueblo. He's ran faster there. So it wasn't his personal best for track days. It might have been his personal best for SCCA, but he's definitely a contender in that sense.
I wonder if that has anything to do with just it being competitive versus like open lapping. I know that it's a totally different element and there's a different focus required. Maybe that has something to do with it, but no, I think that he told me that he had run almost was it a 2 flat or a 201 at HPR?
I thought it was a 2 flat.
A 2 flat, really yeah. Do. Yeah. So I think that would have put him in second place. Sun with his index is just too damn fast. At high planes.
When you're in any index class and you're screaming out a sub 2 minute lap, I think you're hard to beat.
It makes it difficult. It does. Yes. Well, Sun also was the fastest car of the weekend too, faster than any unlimited or Max or tuner car.
Let's throw some arrow on it and change.
Yeah. Let's see how that works. But I think Sun's going to be our shoe-in winner. Honestly, he's sitting at 57. But it's all going to come down to, again, is he going to show up? I don't know if I can expect him at PPIR, and I don't know if I expect him at La Junta. I'm pretty sure he'll show up to HPR, and let's just assume that
takes first
he
again.
he takes first, but he doesn't beat his previous record. So we'll give him 20 points, which would put his total after drops at 77. Right now, the next closest folks we've got is Jeffrey. Now, what does Jeffrey have to do to beat 77? Well, I know Jeffrey's going to be at PPR La Junta.
And he's fast at PPIR.
He's super fast at PPIR, and he's definitely
Yeah.
going to be fast at the second half of it, which is in the cone. So let's say we give him, and he'll beat the record. Why not? We'll
That's
give him
right.
an extra. We'll give him an extra point, or 3 actually, because we'll say it's an overall class record. That puts him at 76. So all he's got to do is like show up, and get 4 points, and he could take that home for the season. It just makes it an easy ride for Jeffrey. And this is how important it is to show up to the last events. It's not so much to continue your lead, but it's to defend for points,
I think Jonathan is gonna be a heavy contender too. He's only shown up once though, huh?
I don't know
That's,
if I expect John the whole
interesting.
season.
Yeah, well, I'll take that statement back because that was his first event. I'm just looking at averages at the moment.
Well, yeah, anything up to this point, like this could be, that's his first event. It doesn't mean that he's not qualified for the rest, but I don't know if he will show up to the rest. That's a tough one. But maybe after he watches this, he'll do something about it. Right. I think John is going to be a big one too, dude.
Yeah.
John ran a 2:01, which was like
He
2 seconds.
killed it.
2 seconds
First
faster than the
time
class
there,
record.
Yeah.
And it was his first time there. And he does track attack. So let's say rather he
might take
first,
that. Yeah, he might take it instead of
and
Jeff.
that puts Jeffrey at 18, which changes things up. So now John's sitting at 60, but that's only with 3 events, and Jeffrey's at 71. If we just double up the points that we just got,
do 19 again.
So let's say 19, 18, and let's just assume the same results. That puts John in first.
Wow. And he's he's a really good driver, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
He's always showing up to the track attacks and placing first or second in like our GT class, which is top of the top. So
yeah, he's a driver for sure. Everything I've seen out of him, I've been very impressed. The last one I think is going to be the big underdog, which is Ben.
Where's Ben? Where's Ben?
Yeah, he's been, well, where's the Brett Cortusio, really?
Yeah, I know.
He came out, man, he was swinging, and I just don't think he's going to make it. But Ben, I think, has been in his head a little bit since the accident at La Junta. And then he had issues at Pueblo with overheating. And now he's got to pull the motor, and he's changing out gaskets and stuff. He's currently working on it. So I think he will definitely make the last 2. I just don't know if he's going to be able to squeeze out a P1, but a podium is definitely in his sights for sure. Being top 3 is a possibility. I don't really know how to predict all that, but that's my thought there.
Gosh, we got a huge list of drivers and tuner.
Yeah, I had to zoom out to make it all fit. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. We could mix it up before the end of the season there with a couple of people being able to show back up for sure.
Well, I think that's a lot of the reason why I don't want to discourage anybody from this video, because we're not talking about them because their numbers are low or whatever. But a lot of them are just low because, participation, really.
Anyways, are we going to sport or max next?
We can do sport. We can do sport next. Before I pull up points, without even seeing it, what do you think?
Well, is Mark going to show up?
Oh, that's the question.
Because Mark's going to take it if he does.
That is the right answer.
I'm going to say Tripp's been doing really good, and we're not even looking at it yet.
Wow. We are now.
Dean's been really getting faster every lap he takes.
Yep.
I don't suspect Keith to really be showing back up, but he would be the highest contender otherwise.
I think he's pretty much, well, and we have Devin Villalobos that hasn't been at the last few, and Randy Miller. Man, he's doing really good as well, and he is signed up for PPIR. It's going to be between those 5: Tripp, Mark, Devin, Dean, and Randy. And I think Tripp's kind of a shoe-in.
Tripp, yeah, look at those. Those look great.
I think for a second though, or maybe even an underdog win would be Dean. And then it's going to be a fight for third between Devin and Randy.
I could definitely see Dean going out at PPIR and beating Tripp.
Really?
Dean seems to have, I don't know, more cojones, diving into corners and stuff like that. And at
True.
PPIR, you have to have a lot of that because that wall, the bump, there's just a lot of it where I feel like, Tripp might, let off a little bit.
So let's give Dean the overall class record and a P1. Let's just assume, like, Mark, if you're watching this, we just think that you're going to win, but let's just assume he doesn't show up because I don't know what else. I don't know how he's going to do at these smaller tracks. It's really hard to predict, but damn, he came out and performed at High Plains. Holy crap. 2-minute flat. We'll give Tripp 18 points. And Devin, I'm sorry, I'm going to give you the 16 for third. And let's just give Randy the 16 for third as well to see how these points are. It's the same. They have the same points. It ties them. Ooh, that's going to be a tough one for third. But look how much. So we got to get to the drops where it's going to matter because Dean's so far down just because he didn't participate in the first. But if I take his point average and I add it to the first, 20, his point, he does come out on the lead against Tripp. If you just look at the overall point average, right? So depending on how HPR goes again, so let's say Dean pulls out another, let's say third realistically.
So do you mind scrolling over just so I can see, is Dean a Sport 2 car? Or
Sport 3, right here.
Oh, it's right there. Okay. I'm just looking at the wrong place.
He's Sport 3. He's got some index for sure. Yeah. But I think if Mark shows up again at HPR, either way, Dean will be 2 points behind Tripp, right? So we'll give Tripp, a second, and we'll give Mark, another first.
Let's give Dean the same points at HPR as he had last time, which is the 17.
Okay, yeah. Well, he'll get another point for class. He'll beat his class record. So that puts him tied, and then it's all down at La Junta between Tripp and Dean.
Woo. And that's one of those, like, is everyone going to show up even? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, at the end of the season, La Junta's pretty far for a lot of people. Not for me, it's pretty close.
So actually, shame on me. I have a rumor that Dean's not going to make PPIR.
Oh, do you?
Now that changes everything. Now he's going to really figure out how to do it, knowing he could win. But if we do another 18 and a 20, that definitely puts Dean in a solid second place. Well, Tripp in first with the.
I do feel like Tripp's going to show up to everything. He's that kind of guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Dean's, I don't know. He didn't show up to the first one. Maybe he didn't know about us. Maybe he hadn't seen the flying lap yet. I don't know.
We need to talk to Randy at PPIR. We should talk to Randy. I don't think I've actually met the guy yet, but
what's he driving?
He is a Porsche.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, I will have to track him down because I'm not sure who he is at the moment.
Nope, but he's in it. He is in it to win it for sure. Like anything can happen in these last few events, and
Randy,
and he's
come see us.
Yeah, man, get out there.
Well, that's fun.
And then the last bit is just us, which there's I don't know. This has been the hardest one to call, but I think it's because it's the closest one to the chest or to me.
The racing's actually pretty close. It really is. I feel like it's more competitive than the other classes in the sense that
it could go any way.
We're competitive people. I, Rich. Daryl. He's obviously competitive. He's showing up with a real race car compared to the rest of us.
Daryl's unlimited.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't have to worry about Daryl.
Yeah, I just like following him around.
We do need to worry if Ryan Sotak or Nick Stendiford decide that they want to start showing up to every event, then we got to start worrying. From here on out, if they show up to the last three, man, because they came out and they both, solid
and then
second places.
Dustin's probably making his return.
And
he showed up without a car because that's how dedicated he is. So we know if his
Yep.
car's running, he's going to be there.
Yep. Good on you, Dustin. I was so happy to see him.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that to just drive your RV all the way from where you live out to the middle of nowhere just to hang out with the people that you know and love? Good for you. All right, let's take a look at it.
Just look at it and play with these numbers and see that
All
Trey
right.
still beats me, but
I'm gonna highlight our people here. So we got Brandon, we got Dean. We need to consider Ricky, I think, a little bit here, because he's getting fast. He didn't do too well in terms of like podium position at HPR, but holy shit, he went from like a 213 personal best down to like a 202 in one event. Like
and he drives the Mustang, right?
He drives the Mustang. Yep.
Okay.
So he is just, if he keeps improving, I'm worried about it. If he wants to just chill out, I'm not so worried about it. Sorry, Ricky, calling you out.
I feel like smaller tracks, like PPIR is a horsepower game, in my opinion. So if he shows up there, he's going to do all right.
Yep. And
some guy named Trey.
I guess because we got
Rich,
Ricky,
of course, but we don't know a few of those things, like which events is he going to show up to? He's been to everyone so far.
Mm-hmm. He's just kind of been. I'm gonna highlight these two as like red because they're dangerous
the
people.
Devil, yeah. Let's not talk about it. No.
But Kevin hasn't performed as well at some of these other ones in terms of podium. But I mean, he's brand new to this sport.
Yeah,
brand new. Never done anything else. Never done this before. Came out swinging at La Junta. I expect that he's going to be another contender at La Junta again, and potentially PPIR, just the two small tracks. Like maybe that's his thing. I don't know. And HPR, I expect him to improve as well. So his points are going to go up for sure. From his 36, but and the same thing with Ricky. But I think ultimately for P1, 2, and 3, it's going to come down to you, me, Rich, and Dustin, more than likely.
La Junta for myself, my car was not running right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if we bump my numbers there just for the sake of thinking, my car's running right. And so let's just do that first. Let's put some 15 in there because I keep getting fourth.
Okay.
Where does that
okay, I see what you're saying. So 57 points.
All right, so that puts me in second, it looks like.
Yep. That places you in second.
I don't know that I'm going to do super well at PPIR compared to some of these other, like Jeffrey's going to go so fast at PPR. And he's got this huge index.
Oh yeah, dude. Yep.
I'm really worried about Jeffrey. He's a huge track attacker and he's really good at it. Mm-hmm. So he might place first in the track attack.
He's got
with his index on the track
beefy index. Beefy index. I think it comes out to like 10 seconds on these long tracks and maybe 5 seconds index on the short tracks.
Yeah.
And which is huge. Huge. I forgot about him. Sorry.
Well, just give him I would say he's going to place second overall for the whole weekend.
At La Junta?
Maybe even first. No, PPIR. Maybe even first for the weekend.
Okay.
Because he's going to place first in
track attack. We'll give him 23. We'll just say he does.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not 23. I don't think he can get an overall class record on raw time, but he definitely can get 21 points and get an M5 class record. Yeah. So one extra point for class record.
He gets faster HPR. Let's get one more number for him just to get these results in over there.
Mm-hmm.
So he got 13 there. Let's say he does maybe a 14, just to stick a number in there.
A 14. Okay. Well, I mean, it's going to be different. We don't know if Nick's going to be there. I'm not going to be there. So that's 2 classes bumped up right there. Everybody bumps up 2 classes. So, I mean, I think that, sorry, I'm just patting myself on the back for how well I did at HPR before I fucking exploded. But if he bumps up 2, let's give him like 16 points.
Okay.
Or 17 points even. We'll leave these guys off because they're not going to show up, right? Or they're not going to show up. Kevin, I know, is not coming out to PPIR. I believe so. So we'll
might get a little faster.
What do you think, Jeffrey, on La Junta?
quick. We'll give him another 17.
16, 17.
16. Sure. That and that just throws him up
68.
there.
68.
Yeah.
He's up there. Yep.
Wow.
And
that's a
then
lot.
Kevin, let's just give him another. Let's pretend that he gets another 18. He just mirrors his performance before and after. And let's say he bumps up to 11. He needs to go up 2 classes. So that's what, 4 points, almost to 13. So he's at 58. Richest one, I don't know, man. Like if he shows up and just, even if he shows up,
he's got a 10 at La Junta, and it must have been something to do with his car too, because he's better than that.
But it's all matter of, is he going to show up?
There you
That's
go.
like,
You gave him that.
He's told me he might not do PPR. He's told me he might not do La Junta. Like he might just do HPR. And even let's say he runs a 56 and gets the overall class record, it puts him at 65, man. That's not enough. If I show up and take last place in a bicycle, I can still get him.
Well, you just have to hit the event. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. I just need to get out there and do that. So, I mean, Rich, if you're listening, one win is not enough. Don't choke.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'm going to.
So these 16s he has were both 3rd place finishes, but maybe PBs?
The HPR was a PB. Pueblo, I think he'd only been to Pueblo once before, like an open lap day. So, I mean, I guess it has to be a PB. And La Junta was his first. La Junta was his first time out there as well. He did have serious issues at La Junta though. But he's had issues all season.
What about Dustin? Let's talk about Dustin.
Dustin, okay.
PIR, he's got a lot of horsepower. He shows up and he might take the win. Because I mean that be there.
And you're just gonna go fast. But I don't know, man. I'm not counting you out or Rich for that. I really think it's a toss-up between the 3 of you on first. I have no freaking idea. Unless you just think that Jeffrey with his index is gonna just stomp all of you guys. But we've got Jeffrey sitting at 21 with a win, so everyone else from here on out should get less.
We were just playing with the numbers, but yes, if that's the suspicion there, sure.
Yeah, so we'll say Brandon gets second.
I would say I'm going to do better than I have all season in the sense that, for 1 year not there. And then I have done PPIR more than any other track. And I am a track attack guy. Yeah, I've done at least 6 or 8 track days at the Roval.
Yeah. All right. So we'll give you, are you going to put Jeff over yourself?
For the weekend, I will. Yeah.
Okay. For the all right. So we'll put you at 21 for the PPIR weekend, and we'll bump him down to second.
Is that
unfair?
Is that the next point down? It would be. I would still put him ahead.
I'm giving you 21. I'm giving you 21 because 1 extra point actually is class record, which I don't think there is a max class record. And in fact, I think the max class record overall is like a 103, which is definitely beatable. So whoever takes first place and has the fastest raw time, I mean, the fastest raw time you get +3. So I mean that is a big changer right there. So if you take, get a 15 at La Junta, but you take 23 here, that bumps you to 68. And that's a second placer right there.
I'm gonna run over Trey here soon, but
well, and then really like you can. I mean, if you show up to HPR and I mean,
should be able to do better again
because there people aren't going to be there.
Exactly.
And you're going to have all your shit fixed.
So we'll give it an 18.
And that does it.
There we go. Well, we'll see what Dustin does for one. So we still got him missing all these events at the moment. I think PPIR, it's hard to say. I think on the Roval, he's going to be really fast. But in the track attack, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think, did he do that last year?
Aren't very good.
Did he do that last year?
I wasn't there. So
yeah. I don't know either. I don't remember at all.
HPR, so he shows up the HPR and he messes stuff up.
So he crushes it. He takes it.
Yeah, let's give him the win.
And he gets 20 points. Rich gets bumped down to 18.
and then I get
or
bumped down
something,
to 17 or something.
and let's say you get 16 or
Oof.
17, like
Gosh.
that. Look at how tight this gets, right?
Wow. This is where all the fun is at the moment. We're all so close.
I mean, it's really, like you said it earlier. This is the hardest one to predict, and it might be because we're either being modest. It's the closest to us, you know, and we're trying to be careful and cautious
Yeah,
about
we
it.
need another person here doing this with us.
We need someone else that's going to just tell us how it is and what they think, though, too. Yep, from an outside view, because I'm way too speculative, and yeah, it's hard. It's really tough to say. Either way,
Well,
it's gonna be fun.
We're just gonna keep going out and hitting those flying laps, seeing
yeah,
what
man.
happens.
For now, yeah. I gotta see it. For public service announcement. If anybody with a Max 2 or lower car needs a co-driver at any of the next 3 events, you know who to call. It's your boy. I had to do it. I had to say it for YouTube.
Shameless plug. Okay.
I need to drive something. I'm telling you, my wife will kill me if I take another one of her cars out to the track.
I thought that was your car, but okay.
No, the Audi's not my car. It is definitely hers. The Civic was hers, and I did take the Civic out to the track. And it was awesome. Man, that car was beautiful. It was just like so fun to just drive the piss out of a car.
Yeah, we need to go get ourselves some Honda Civics. All of us just go buy the same car, and we'll see what happens. That's where we know who the better driver is.
we need a spec class competition.
We should all drive the same car. Like we'll buy one.
It should be something. It should be something cheap and stupid, like Smart for Twos. Cage Smart for Twos.
A smart car.
Yeah, dude.
A one-wheel drive.
Yeah, and we'll just exactly take the passenger seat out, drop the weight. We'll be max or unlimited class Smart for Twos.
Well, man, that was fun to actually go through. I know we talked about it a little bit beforehand and had our own predictions and stuff, but now that we actually went through all of that, wow, I'm super interested now. I'm going to be watching what everybody does meticulously and just trying to step up my game too.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I should open up the calculator to the public or something and let everybody else play with predictions. I don't want it to be a discouraging factor, though. If I'm already too far behind, I mean, that's the wrong attitude to have anyways. I'm too far behind, so I'm just not going to go. Right? If you're far behind and you're not going to podium, you should be like, I'm going to show up and mess up
at least Brandon Oglesby. Everybody else. Yeah.
Brandon Oglesby specifically at the next 2 events so he doesn't get too close to Trey, my boy. Well, I don't have anything else to cover. And I mean, we've been on this now for maybe 30 minutes, which is a lot longer than I thought. I really don't want to edit it so we can wrap it up.
All right. Well, on 3, the flying lap. 1, 2, 3. The flying lap. The flying lap.
When you started to count, I was like, wait.
There's some delay here.